Hey, I'm Ross Thomas, and we have a great surprise for you today. The first guest of my online series. A good friend, a good person. Hang tight for Mr. Michael Peterson.
You're the reason why I drink, swear, steal, and lie. Here to eternity, I'm asking you.
With over 2,500 performances in 19 countries during a unique career that spans over 30 years, Michael Peterson has had the good fortune to be a million-selling, Grammy-nominated country music star whose songs have hit #1 on the charts 5 times, including the 4th most popular country wedding song of all time, From Here to Eternity, and the iconic Drink, Swear, Steal, and Lie. A songwriter for the stars with the unusual good fortune to have had his compositions recorded by Hall of Famers and Grammy winners in country, rock, pop, gospel, and Latin, including Travis Tritt, Timothy B. Schmidt of the Eagles, pop superstar Denise Williams, the Imperials, and Basilos. A contributing author for 8 books, including the #1 New York Times best-selling Chicken Soup for the Soul series. The recipient of numerous distinguished public service awards, including the prestigious Bob Hope Spirit of Hope Medal from the USO following his 11 tours and over 150 performances for servicemen and women deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and South Korea. He and his wife, Army Women's Hall of Fame inductee Colonel Jill Chambers, U.S. Army retired, have a home in Las Vegas and currently live part of the year in Branson, Missouri, where Michael is leading an all-star cast as the musical director for the #1 rated concert experience in Branson, Raiding the Country Vault. Together, they have 3 daughters and a dream life.
Hey, everyone, thank you for joining us. Today, we have an amazing singer-songwriter. #1 hit. Yeah, right. That's you right there. This guy is amazing. I mean, I met you, I'm going to say back in 2014,
Yeah.
but I could go on and on about all the amazing stuff that you and your wife do for the military, for music, but we're going to get to all that. But I want to introduce to everybody Mr. Michael Peterson. Hey, Michael, how
Hey,
you doing
Rob.
today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to
Good.
see you again.
Thank you. It's nice to be seen.
Yeah, right on. So what have you been up to lately?
Well, I've been thinking about you a good bit for the last couple of weeks because I know we were going to do this, and I've been thinking about this song that you and I started years ago
Right?
that we need to finish. Put on these shoes,
Oh, yeah.
and I tell you what, I'll make you a deal. When we finish the song, I'll come back on and we'll do it for your residence.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
They'd love it.
good. Yeah,
Cool.
fun. So yeah, well, I'm doing good. You know, I mean, obviously the world is taking a hit here,
Oh,
and people are really uh, facing a greater awareness of uncertainty. Like
yeah,
we always live with uncertainty, but most of the time we don't think that it's as uncertain as it feels right now. So there's a heightened awareness about uncertainty. So, I feel the weight of that in a lot of my friends' lives and people that we don't know that we see on TV and around the community, but me personally and my wife, we're, on the inside, like the inner part of you, we're doing great, man. We feel resilient, strong, and happy to be here and be here with you.
that's good. That's all we can ask for.
Yeah.
Has it affected your music, this whole thing? Are you still able to
Well,
do?
there's been a lot of positive things that have come out of it.
Yeah,
One thing is, I have a studio here in my house. I'm sitting in the studio right now,
right.
and I can show you here real quick.
Okay.
Let's see, wrong way. If you look over my shoulder, a lot of equipment, gear, and stuff. And for years, I've only known about halfway to use it.
Yeah.
So this has been a time for me to be able to really focus because I'm not on the road. Most of the time in my life, I'm either packing or unpacking because I'm
Right.
on the road so much. So this has been a time where I said, you know what, I need to really learn how to use my gear. So been really loving that, and I've been writing a lot of new songs, obviously inspired by what's happening in the world, as well as finishing, songs that have been kind of half finished because I think to myself, well, when am I going to get to that? But then, we have this time now. So that's been a real super positive thing. I think, the downside of it for anybody that's a traveling musician or a professional athlete or a performer of any kind, it's just really difficult right now to know what's going to happen with your work situation. So
Right.
There's lot of unanswered questions in regards
Right.
to it. So we live in today. We are prayerful, and we are grateful for what we have.
That's good. I appreciate that. You mentioned sports, entertainment.
Yeah.
My brother Rick, he's in Branson,
Yeah.
and his show's not opening till June. There's a few shows opening this month, and he's a bit apprehensive because he wants to give the people what they want. He wants to get back to performing, but do I put every 5 seats? There's a
Yeah.
lot
What
of
do you think?
unknowns. And
Yeah.
until we get back to somewhat normal, there's a lot of questions they're gonna have to be fixed
Yeah.
and answered before you and I and everybody else get out there and perform again. So
I think you're absolutely right. And, one of the things I really appreciate about seniors, of which I am becoming one, at 60 years old, at what point, I don't know, do you officially become a senior? But maybe it's the point where you're standing at the cash register and the young lady taking your money for your meal for the very first time in your life doesn't ask your age, just goes ahead and gives you that Social Security discount, senior citizen discount. Anyway, I digress. I was thinking that there's a lot of people in your facilities who have a lot of wisdom they can share at this time. Because, this isn't the first time that a devastating worldwide event has happened. And many of the people in your facilities, I would imagine, lived through the Great Depression,
yeah,
or parts of it, and World War II,
yes,
and Korea. And, I'm just grateful for the fact that we have some folks around us who have experienced it before and can, bring us a little bit of calm and some positive understanding that, hey, we're still here. We're going to make it through this.
right,
If
right,
when you're a first timer, it's like, oh no, what, So
yeah.
really appreciate the perspective that our older citizens can bring.
They're amazing. My father-in-law is in his 80s, and I sat down with him the other day, and I said, have you ever been through something like this before? He fought in the Vietnam War. He's in the Army. And he says, but I've never experienced something quite like this. We've had wars, we've had pandemics, but to shut down the country and to shut down the world,
Yeah.
he says, I've never had to deal with this before. And with the community that I'm in and all the other different assisted living communities out there, it's difficult because these residents are so used to having family coming in to see them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden take the door and close it and say, we love you enough to keep people out so you don't get sick. 99% of my residents and other people I've talked to in the communities around the country, they understand it. But there's a few that just say,
Yeah.
Why? Why do you have to keep this? Why? For how long? And that's the hardest
Yeah.
thing, because we see the anguish that they face.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it is most of the families would say we'd rather keep our loved ones safe than something get into one of the buildings. So
Yeah, it's just it's a season of
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and I love that you can appreciate the depth and the breadth of the situation and enough to be able to see all the sides of it.
yeah,
That's good, sane, positive thinking.
yeah,
But it's temporary. This too shall pass.
Right. We'll get back. We'll find some kind of normal again.
Yeah.
Who knows what it will be, but we'll find it.
Yeah. Well, normal is for us to be together, even if it's this way. Normal is for us to open our hearts and share laughter and
Yeah.
funny stories and
Yeah.
and just each other's company. That's normal. So in that sense, the vehicle may be different, but we're still arriving.
Right. Definitely. I want to talk to you a little bit. You mentioned my residents or the residents of all these communities. We have a lot of veterans that live with us. And I know you spent some time in Branson for a couple of years doing a show. I met you in Las Vegas. I think you were working there. And you live in Las Vegas, right?
This is our 7th year.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to bring up the veterans, because when I met your wife, she was an Army. She's an Army?
30-year Army veteran.
30-year Army veteran.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is you and your wife travel around and you do the USO tours and all those kind of things, don't you? For all the veterans and
We have over the last I've known Jill for 14, almost 15 years.
Yeah.
And actually, what's today, the 15th? In 3 days, it'll be 15 years that I've known her.
Okay.
And during that time, 11 tours to war zones around the world where men and women in the U.S. military are deployed and serving. You know, probably close to 200 shows in those kind of environments. And then, I don't know, maybe 300 to 500 shows for veterans here in the U.S. at different organizations, American Legion, VFW, you know, those kind of things. So, you know, I've done a lot of stuff with veterans.
It's amazing. So first of all, thank you for that, because I
It's a
know
privilege, you know,
it
it's a
is.
privilege. It's a privilege to serve and give back.
It is. And I know that they appreciate the men and women who are serving when they have somebody that cares enough to show up at the base or wherever they're at
Yeah,
and say, let me just spend some time with you and tell you a few stories and pick up your guitar.
yeah.
I've seen it happen. It's amazing. So what I want you to do when next time you go, call me up. I'll back you up. I'll just play
Okay,
guitar.
I'd love that. That'd be fantastic.
I'll
Yeah,
just sit in the back and play.
yeah. No, you know, when I remember when we first started going to Iraq and Afghanistan, at that time, you know, 9/11, so 2001. A lot of the young people that were that when I started going, it was about 2005, I guess. So a lot of the young people that were there that were serving, you know, would have been early teens or preteens when I had hit records.
Yeah.
So they didn't, you know, it wasn't like a contemporary artist that they knew and loved was hearing on the radio right now, was walking in the room. So I realized, um, you have that advantage when you're in the States, you're playing a show and people are coming because they know your music. But when you're showing up in their space and they don't really know your music, they might have heard of you or whatever. You know, it's a different kind of a scenario. And I realized pretty quickly that it was better to go and meet them where they were instead of asking them to come meet me where I was. So we'd go to these little makeshift theaters in these forward operating bases. And, 10 people would show up, and those people were asked by not asked, they were ordered by their command sergeant major to show up because they didn't want to embarrass the commander, by having
Right.
nobody show up, right?
Right.
So, plus, if they didn't show up for my show, then the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders probably wouldn't come next time. So, because they say, well, people aren't interested, right? So I just realized mandatory fun, like, these guys went because they had to go.
Right.
We'd go into these little forward operating bases. Sometimes it might have 5 or 6 soldiers that would show up at a show because that's all there was that were there. They just got back from a patrol where they were kicking indoors, wondering if they were going to get shot. If I could just get them to drop their shoulders, relax a little bit, breathe a little deeper, laugh a little bit. I didn't need them to do anything for me. I wanted to see if I could help them relax a little bit.
Right.
I remember after one show, a young soldier came up to me and he said, thanks for coming. And this was a guy that I thought during the whole show, man, he's not enjoying this because he wasn't smiling and he barely laughed. But after the show, he came up and he thanked me for coming and he said, you could pretty much stand up there and peel a banana,
Right.
and tell a joke or something. He said, because what matters to me isn't what you did, it's the fact that you're here.
Right.
Yeah, you just brought a little touch of home, So those are things that just, get rid of the hype, get rid of the showbiz, just get right down to brass tacks.
Yeah.
Can you reach somebody? Can you share a moment together? And I think really in the end of it, that's really what we're all called to do.
That is true. I think some of the best shows that I've done have been small, intimate shows.
Yeah.
Where you can actually talk to the crowd.
Yeah.
They can feel the music.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing that I get to do now, we've been on lockdowns, so-called lockdown. So we can't let people in the building.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate that once a week I can get my guitar out and force my residents to listen to me. I get several times a week, Ross, when you going to sing? When you going to sing? I'll do it Friday right before lunch. Those are some of the best shows because I can just sit there and be myself, let them listen. Yeah. And the fun thing is I ask them who has a request. And once in a while I know one of their songs. So, a Glenn Campbell or, just something that they're from their era that they love. Yeah.
I love that. Well, I get requests sometimes too. Most of the requests I get are, would you please stop?
I get those too. You ever heard the song "Homegrown Tomato"?
Yeah, Guy Clark.
Guy Clark. So
Yeah.
I sing that every time I play. And there's this one lady that she says she hates the song, but I know she loves it. But she says she hates it because she had to pick tomatoes when she was a kid.
Uh,
So her name's Seneth. And I go, Seneth, here comes your song. And when I'm singing that song, everybody knows the words now. It's amazing. They're singing, they're laughing. Just a fun song. So those are great times, you know.
yeah,
So
good, man. That's
yeah.
great. Well, I'm proud of you, man, for all you're doing.
Hey, you too. Thank you, man. What you got planned? Do you have anything coming up soon, or?
At this point, all my shows through the summer are all been canceled.
I know it's
You know,
crazy.
so what I'm doing, I'm working on a new radio show. I just produced my first radio show,
Okay,
and it's going to be on. There's a great internet radio station called Positive Listening Radio.
I've heard it. Yeah,
PositiveListeningRadio.com,
yeah.
and they've asked me if I would host a weekly show. So I am in the process of just getting ready to launch that. The show is going to be called "Funny You Should Ask."
Hey, funny you should ask.
Yeah, right. And
I like that.
it's,
That's
it's
good.
a combination of it's mostly all request show. So people ask for songs to be dedicated either to themselves or request for themselves or dedication to somebody they know.
Right.
And then on top of that, in addition to that, there's lots of funny little bits of humor in the show. So really, it's one of those shows where we get to interact a lot with the fans and get to laugh a lot. So Funny You Should Ask on Positive Listening Radio, coming soon. I don't have a date yet when we're going to launch, but process of doing that. Got a couple of movie projects that I'm involved with that are pretty close to getting made.
Cool.
Major motion picture for the big screen.
Right.
Not as an actor, but I'm just involved with the production side of things.
Okay.
I've been writing a lot of songs and creating a lot of new music.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's an organization here in Vegas called Adam's Place, which is a place that provides advocacy for children whose parents have passed.
Oh,
So I've been volunteering for them, and just
man,
having a good time.
you guys are keeping busy. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we're happy though. It's amazing how busy you can get when you have nothing to do.
Yeah. Well, I know you're doing a lot. The other day I was just talking to the owner in my building, and my front desk, Amber, she's my assistant. She heard me mention your name. She goes, Michael Peterson? The Michael Peterson?
Yeah, that's funny.
Cheats, drinks, swear, steal, and lie, Michael Peterson. And she starts singing your songs and all this stuff.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. So, the hits that you've had over the years, From Here to Eternity, Drink, Swear, Steal, and Lie.
Yeah, those are probably the two most recognizable ones.
Yeah. There's a couple that you've given to me. Something about the beach, King of the Beach.
King of the Beach. Wow, that's good.
One of my favorite ones, The Shade. The Shade you.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was actually a Joe Nichols recorded that song, but I love that song and I've done it in my shows live for years.
That's a beautiful song.
The shade comes free with the tree.
Shade comes free with the tree.
Yeah, what a great song. Yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah.
Written by my buddy Shane Decker, by the way.
Oh, so Shane wrote that one?
Yeah. You know Shane? I didn't know you know Shane.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I thought that was one of your. Didn't you collaborate with him, or that's with that song?
I didn't. I did not co-write that. Yeah, but when I sing songs that are really, really good that I didn't write, I try to sing them as though I did write them.
You know what?
If you're gonna sing a song, you might as well sing it like you wrote it.
Right. There's one resident that's in my community, and I'll sing a song, and he goes, "Ross, I bet you wrote that one."
Yeah.
I go, "Jim, if I wrote that one, I wouldn't be sitting here."
It's funny. Yeah.
I'm just kidding, but it's just
great songs should be played over and over and over again.
They should. Well, Michael, I know you've got a lot to do. Is there anything else you want to share with me or share with all my residents before?
Just a great big heartfelt thanks. Thank you for your spirit. Thank you for the joy that I see in your face, and in spite of the circumstances that we're all in. I just am so grateful to have this moment of life today with you. And I don't know when I'll have the opportunity to meet your residents in person, but if I ever have that opportunity, I'll be taking it. And I just want to thank you all for paying attention today, and hopefully I'll share some music that will make you smile, laugh, and thank you for the courage that you continue to show in the face of this adversity.
Thank you for that. They'll appreciate it so much. Hey, we're going to be playing some of your music coming up, and I can't wait to hear it. Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
If you ever get to, there's a lot of communities out there, and I know a lot of administrators. So if you're ever on the road and you want to stop by and say hi to any of them, I'm sure
Great.
they'd love you to stop by.
All right. I love that, man.
So great. And I'll catch you, and we'll pick up and finish that song one of these days.
Okay, buddy.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.
Hey, thanks for asking. Bye.
Talk to you in a bit.
Hey everybody, Michael Peterson here in Las Vegas. That's why I love to sit here with my guitar and just play some songs. Songs that you may never, well, probably have never heard before of mine. I thought that'd be fun to do. So this is one of those. You know, small kindnesses that we do to one another during this time, even though we don't have any control over the big stuff right now, and probably never did. But it's the little things, right, that create a ripple effect. The way we treat each other, that hopefully, you know, goes out into the ponds of our lives and, you know, helps us get through some rough times. So that's what this is. That's what my hope is today. Come on, do this. Snap your fingers with me. There you go. Do you know what you get when you cross a Juliet with a ready Will and Romeo? Spontaneous combustion, they're kissing and touching each other head to toe. Don't know if Shakespeare would agree, but if it was up to me, I'd change the way the story ends. Instead of Romeo, where art thou? Juliet would shout out, hey, I'd like to do it again. I hope that it was good for you, 'cause it was good for me. Ba-da, ba-ba-da. Talking about a real life satisfying. Knock me down if I'm lying, feeling. If you feel it, please squeeze my hand another second. And honey, I reckon we'll follow where this feeling leads. So hope that it was good for you, 'cause it was good for me. Ba-da, ba-ba-da. Try it with me. Da-da-da, ba-da, ba-ba-da-da. You know, one can never tell which penny down a wishing well is gonna make a dream come true. I bet I threw 1,000, heck, I quit counting, 'cause every wish was you. So when I went and wrote this song, hoping you would sing along, and maybe it'd make you laugh. Now something's telling me I'm never gonna be your future former better half. I hope that it was good for you, 'cause it was good for me. Ba-da, ba-ba-da. I'm talking about a real life satisfied. Knock me down if I'm lying, feeling. If you feel it, please squeeze my hand another second. And honey, I reckon we'll follow where this feeling leads, like Romeo and Juliet. Only we won't wind up dead, just the right amount of wrong. We'll go down in history if you tell me it was good for you, good for me. Ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-da, ba-ba-da-da-da. Come on now. Ba-ba, sing with me. Ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Ba-da, ba-ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. thanks. Did you ever have an adult sing a lullaby to you when you were a child? You know, trying to get you to go to sleep? I got to thinking about that the other day, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if there were lullabies for grown-ups, you know? Would you like that? Me too. So that's where this song came from. I won't pretend to know the answers when you need more than words. I'm well acquainted with your heart, and I wanna ease your hurt. You don't have to prove you're strong now. If it's rest you need, just lay your head here on my shoulders and leave the rest to me. Don't you be afraid of waking, even if your heart is breaking. Don't you be afraid of waking, even if your heart is breaking. Now don't you worry how I'm feeling. Just take the time you need for healing. Leave the rest to me. I am a lineman for the county, and I drive the main road, searching in the sun for another overload. I hear you singing in the wire, I can hear you through the wine. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line. I know I need a small vacation, but it don't look like rain. If it snows, that stretch down south won't ever stand the strain. And I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita lineman is still on the line.
and I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time. And the Wichita Lineman is still on the line. Still